Okay, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a 2D what do you want to call it, 2D pattern that fits around a 3D sloped wall. So it's really what it is. It's just a section of a cone. So this great cone here would be the whole portion right here, like that. Right, this large section of the cone, or this pie shape, would be the actual whole cone. It would wrap around like a hat. So, but we're looking for is a sloped radius wall. So that's the principle you need to understand. That, well, that would wrap around the whole thing. This radius, the blue radius here, to the full end of the radius, which is this, is that's how you get that 2D pattern. So the purple portion is the purple portion. So what I'm going to do is here's if you wanted to use this information. Let's say that was their sloped radius wall, 120 high, 40 inches wide, or 40 feet, doesn't matter, whatever it is. And the diagonal, you calculate the diagonal. That's that diagonal there. And then you need to find out the height of the cone. So you can use trig, which would be find the angle of 40 over 20. So arctangent of 40 over 20. And then multiply that by 100, and then you would get the height. Or you could use it like this. I think I use scale. So 40 is to 100 as 120. So 40 is to 100 as 120 is to x, and the 300 is x. We get so 100. What's the next piece we need? So the next thing we need is this. So we have 300 and we have 100. You could use Pythagorean theorem. Why don't we do that? Tools, calculator, square root of 100 squared plus 300 squared. And then we'll end up with the 316.2278. That's that diagonal. And so then we can calculate this length, right? Or this radius. Take the 316 minus this, and we end up with 189. That's our second radius. So we have the large radius and then the interior radius. And let's go down here. What do we need? So now the next thing you need is to find out, there's however you want to limit it. You could find out what the angle is in degrees, or you could find out what's with that information you can calculate. So let's do that first. So 316, which is the radius, times the radians will equal 628. So I'm not sure why I didn't show that. Oh yeah, I did here. 100 times 360. So right here, I figured to calculate the circumference of the circle. You have a 100 radius. What's the circumference? So that's how you do that. I just multiplied it by 360 degrees and then times the radians, and that would give you the circumference. So that we're kind of doing the same thing here. We're getting the 316, which is the radius, times what we don't know, is equal to 628. So that times what is in radians, and then solve for x, and then we end up with 100, and then change it back. So that gives you the radians, and that gives you the that gives you the radians, and then multiply the radians times 316. I know, where did we go? 316. It gives you the x in radians, and then convert those radians to degrees, and that's what we get there. So now, so the way I laid this out, and this is kind of how you probably end up laying it out. You could use well, I mean, there's 100 different ways to lay it out, but that's really not the scope of this video. So you could do the tangent of 113 minus 90, and then you could lay that out, that triangle, and I did that there. X divided by 316, so this unknown divided by 316 here, is equal to the tangent of 113 minus 90. And then you do the math and then you get the 139. So you could lay that out and then snap this line and then just swing that arc until you intersected that. And the other way would be, once you get that, you could run something through here, enter, and then you could calculate V, which would be the middle, Control K to there, enter. So this angle, Alt and A, would be half of 113. And then you could lay out that arc, right? So it would be, this is the unknown. Right? We don't know what this is, right? I got funky, there you go. Whoa. We don't know that it's 264, but we could do it by going Tools, Calculator. Let's see. So we don't know this, but we know the angle and we know this, right? So this, actually, this would be less of a help than, yeah, we would need this and this. We could lay it out on how, there's a video on how to lay out an arc. So you'd want to calculate that. So it would be X over 316. So X divided by 316 is equal to, that would be the sine of 56.9209, close parenthesis, and you would take this on the bottom and multiply it times 316, 316.2278, get rid of all that. Backspace, and we end up with that 264 for this, and that would give you that, double it, you would get that, right? That's the same over here. And then you would want to know this, so you would take 316.228, 316.228 minus, and then let's put all that in parentheses. Are we going to go square root, open parenthesis, 264.97329732 squared minus, backspace, would be 316.228 squared minus this squared would give us this squared, and then the radius minus that would give us this dimension, right? 143. We would get 143. Sometimes I just don't want to behave. 143.6321. So that's how you would get that. So now you have the width and the rise, and then you could follow the layout. If this was at feet, it would just be too big to swing those arcs. You could lay out the how to lay out an arc. I just did a video on that. All right, so that's how it's done. It's a lot of information in 10 minutes, but I left all the steps here in case you want to screenshot them so that you can kind of follow along. I mean, I put some colors on there so you sort of see the red as the first, maybe orange, red, green, blue, then this stuff. Yeah, so there's kind of like, you can see where the steps are, what those steps in light blue relate to over here, and then where, where those come from. You just got to do a little traffic in your mind on the drawing to figure out where they're coming from and where they're going. And that's how you do it. If you got any questions, you could always post a question, and regardless, it's not too much of all the steps, but I mean, it's more about the steps, not the actual calculations. So hope that helps in your career. Good luck and thanks for watching.